This is my caravan door lock, and as you can see, everything's well with it. When we were away with it, the actual locking mechanism came apart and fell out. I managed to collect all the bits. That's the handle, and then there's the locking barrel that goes in, and I can still open the door by pressing that like that and prising it open. By opening the door, you can see the rear of the lock. There's 4 screws which I need to undo. The first part, a second plastic insert, and a rubber seal. Pop them in there, and that leaves this part. Which comes out, and a rubber gasket. Pop them all in. Okay, just a quick chat about how the mechanism works. This is the inside handle of the caravan, which is on the back of the door. How it works is that when you pull the handle up, it opens the latch on the door, and what the lock does is this barrel prevents you from being able to move this mechanism from the outside, which means this stays attached and the door can't be open. So that's the back side of the mechanism. And just while I've got the mechanism off, just going to use a multi-purpose oil and give a quick spray, and give the spring a spray. Yeah. In effect, when you lock the mechanism with the barrel, all it actually does is it moves this handle down like that, so you can't move the handle in any way. When the mechanism's on the door, on the outside of the door is this casing, which the 4 screws go in from the back side of the door, which you saw me took off, and that will sit like that with the door in between. Now this handle, the 2 bits slide through as that housing fits on there, and then this handle, and it's the movement of this which opens the latch. So it's like so. And what prevents you from doing this is the lock barrel when it's in the closed position. Now these are the pieces I found, which is the lock barrel, which you can see when the key's not in, there's some bits of metal sticking out the side, and if you look in the lock housing, there's a gap, and those bits of metal just sit inside the housing, and with no key that lock barrel mechanism can't turn around because those bits are in there. And as you put the key in, those bits of metal will come in and the lock barrel will spin around freely in the housing. So to put it back together, there's my 2 bits of my handle. The handle sits on the circular bit, which pops in there. The barrel goes in the middle of the barrel housing. That pops through the casing, and then you end up with this on the back. Now the next thing is this sort of foam washer, which pops in there. Fit that in. I suppose that just stops the water getting in. Then there's a metal washer, and then the last ingredient, which I haven't shown you yet, is this little clip which when that is pressed down, that clip will clip around there and hold it all in place. Now I might not be able to film this because I need two hands, but I just need to wedge that open with my screwdriver and pop it so that it fits under this lip. For that bit I think I'm going to have to put the camera down. Okay, so I've managed to wedge it underneath. Okay, so there you can see that clip is wedged underneath the metal lip. I'll show you with the screwdriver. That clip that I put on is just wedged underneath the metal lip of the barrel. Okay, I've just noticed this small clip looks a bit loose, and that's probably why this lock came apart in the first place. So I'm going to just try and squeeze it with some long-nosed pliers and see if I can tighten it. Okay, so I'll give that a squeeze. So I'm going to squeeze the whole thing in. Let's see how we get on. Okay, just to test it. The lock has a slight bit of movement in it, but it won't move enough to open the lock. Okay, I put the foam washer back on. Then pop the lock mechanism back in the door. It's just a bit of oil, which I'll just give a bit of a rub to. It's moving freely at the moment because there's nothing behind. Okay, so I've got the rest of my lock mechanism of the 3 bits, the middle bit. Which is now located. I'll put the 4 screws in. Okay, lock's back on, and I've ensured that the little bit of lock that pushes up is facing downwards so that no water gets in the mechanism. And the lock's open in the open position at the moment, so it opens, and as you can see, that's fine. So I'll shut it, engage the lock, and as you can see, it won't open. So it's I'm happy it's repaired. Happy days.